How I hate essay questions. It's bad enough that I have to quickly form my thoughts into a defensible argument over a subject I have no interest in. But on top of that, I am forced to attend class for the first time this week with them. I can barely concentrate on my work when they are in the room. Still, I have prepared for this. I arrived 2 minutes after the official start of the test, just as the prompts were being passed out to the class. This critical grace period allowed me to avoid being barred from taking the test, while simultaneously removing any opportunity for social interaction. But I know they saw me. I told myself to not look, but I still did. I don't understand the look they gave me. It was intense, but not necessarily angry. I wonder if... No, now is not the time for fantasies. I've got 40 minutes left in the period to complete this test. Focus on the task at hand. And done. With 20 minutes to spare. Perhaps I can quickly turn it in and shoot. They just finished. I can't leave now. What if we exit at the same time? I can't afford to be in close proximity to them, especially when they are wearing something so aesthetically pleasing. Oh heavens, we made eye contact again. Idiot, idiot. Why did you have to stare when they were leaving? Who cares what they were wearing today? It's not like they did it for you. Just shut up and follow the plan. Plan A didn't work, so on to Plan B. I need to correct my grammar anyway. Okay, third check complete. No visible errors. It has now been approximately 10 minutes since they brought their test to the front of the lecture hall and left. Surely that is long enough to avoid a chance meeting outside. Besides, I'm sick of reading my own prose. Once this hurdle is cleared, I will be able to disappear for a little while at least. The last few days have been hard enough. I was able to skip a couple of lectures, but I could not skip this test. Now, with this out of the way, I can afford a 2-week absence before having to set foot in here again. I just hope that is enough. You're here. Oh no, they're heading right for me. There's nowhere to run. Salutations. Perhaps we should move away from the door so that we aren't a fire hazard. Yes, I promise to not run away. What did you wish to speak about? Yes, I did see that you had called me and messaged me multiple times. I apologize. I forgot to plug in my phone after I left the message, and I have not charged it since. No, I was afraid. I have been on the receiving end of something similar before, and it was not pleasant. So I left my phone on silent until it died. I realize the foolishness of my actions now. Please, tell me what you wanted to say. I will listen. What's this? A note? You want me to read it now? Okay. Motion to co-attend a recreational gathering place and have a romantically stimulating conversation as a date this coming Saturday. A bow tie must be worn. Aye or nay? That's not proper etiquette for Robert's Rules of Order. Yes, I am serious. But in regards to the merits of your motion, I don't understand why. I know that you are attractive and kind, but you do not need to do this, you know. I talked with the fraternity brothers, and they no longer require me to... Message received. Can we sit down somewhere outside? It's suddenly very hot in here, and I'm not sure if I can stand much longer. Thank you. No, it's okay. I can walk to the bench on my own. My heart just can't take much more at the moment. Yes, you can sit beside me. I wanted to tell you something. Something I had left unsaid in my message to you. No, it's not the 13 breaches of decorum. Do you remember orientation? That required weekend of tours, lectures, pep rallies, small group sessions, and other mandatory activities. I felt like I was in a prison camp, full of unnaturally smiling student counselors and hyperactive human resource robots. My fellow prisoners, or what was it they called us? Fam Squad? It doesn't matter. I hated when we played icebreaker games, because they were all cruel and unusual punishments. Games where you had to memorize names. Games where you had to reveal personal information. Games where you had to move. Games where you didn't move. I hated all of them. With each new game, a new weakness was uncovered about me. About how I can't remember names, but I can remember irrelevant details. How I don't understand a lot of jokes. And I can't do spontaneous conversations. They never said it, but I could tell that I made them uncomfortable. No one interacted with me when they weren't required to. But to be fair, I did the same. Whenever possible, I would attempt to fade into the background, to make my presence disappear, and to fill myself with emptiness. When we traveled as a group, I would often lag behind, just far enough to stay out of their way. Occasionally, I would actually lose them, and that left a strange feeling in me. It was during one of those times that I ended up wandering over toward an outdoor booth where ice cream floats were being served. Several other future students were standing around, doing what normies do, I suppose. Walking around in the summer sun had inflicted me with a parched throat and slightly burned skin. For reasons I didn't understand at the time, rather than seek refreshment, I decided to lay in the shade against a nearby tree. As I began to think about taking a nap, you walked up to me and asked if I wanted an ice cream float. Do you remember? You were wearing yellow with a plaid design, and on your right wrist was a watch and a blue bracelet. You had 2 floats and offered me one of them. You asked me about my name and my major, and then I asked you about your name and major as per custom. And then you said, well, maybe we will see each other in the same classes. And I said, that is unlikely given the size of the college. And then you said, maybe unlikely, but not impossible. Then I said, only if we survive this orientation. And then you smiled and said, just don't drink the Kool-Aid. And then I looked at my now half-eaten ice cream float for approximately 4 seconds. And I think you laughed. Then you had to leave, so you said goodbye. I ended up finishing my float anyway. And then I fell into my nap. And when I woke up, I found myself at the college clinic, being treated for severe dehydration. I stayed in the clinic for the rest of orientation. It was wonderful. I've mentioned before that I'm terrible with names, but I can remember irrelevant details. I couldn't remember your name or your face, but I remember what you wore and what our conversation was. It was the first time I had a conversation that didn't necessarily feel forced. Do you remember that? It's okay if you don't. When I told Austin about it a few weeks ago, he told me that the conversation was not especially remarkable, so I am not surprised that... Oh, you kind of remember. How so? I see. You remember my name and my face, but not much else. That explains how you knew my name when we spoke. How many days was that ago? In truth, I had nearly forgotten all of it until earlier this semester. You showed up to class, wearing that same yellow outfit, with the same watch and the blue bracelet on your right wrist. And it all came rushing back to me. Everything except for your name. It took me weeks to figure out what your name was. I forced myself to pay attention in class on the off chance that you were called on by the professor. A foolish thing to hope for, given that our class has over 100 students in it. Yet, by some miracle, the professor did call on you one day. And with the fraternity's assignment weighing on my mind, I no longer had any strong excuses to not try to approach you. Though my reconnaissance ended up all for naught anyway, because I was so nervous that I couldn't remember your name. Based on your response, I probably could have approached you weeks ago, just based on how kind you really are. But I was afraid. I'm sorry for trying to shut you out of my life without letting you respond. I struggle to open up to people, and I tend to assume the worst possible outcomes when I do. But I know that it is irrational, and you don't deserve to be treated that way. Can you ever forgive... So, you do forgive me? Thank goodness. No, it's okay. I normally don't like hugs, but this feels good. Now, I haven't forgotten about your motion. Do you mind if I amend it? I move that we co-attend a recreational gathering place beginning 2 p.m. on Saturday and have a romantically and intellectually stimulating conversation as a date. And I guarantee I will wear a bow tie. Do I have a second? No. Why not? And I also guarantee that I will not leave suddenly. But what if it's an emergency? No, it's fine, That's perfectly reasonable. Do I have a second? Good. Now, all those in Before I continue, is there some sort of unusual voting method you would like to use? A kiss on the cheek? But you already gave me one of those. Shoot. I have to get to class. No, I'm not making it up. That's the second bell. Let's just say that it's a date, not a motion. Where should we meet? You'll text me. Oh, Okay. I will charge my phone then. See you on Saturday. So much for Plan B. Hey there, softies. Thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. If you enjoyed this audio, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and comment where you would like to take this Kuudere out on a date. The top comment or comments will have a major influence on what happens in the next part, so send me those wonderful ideas. And if you have any other script ideas that you would like for me to consider, let me know. See you in the next part.